Betting on Love, Chapter 1. The risk was low, the reward potential high. If Tempest talked to him, what was the worst that could happen? Maybe he'd be rude or think she was an annoying groupie gold digger. The best case scenario, he'd fall in love with her at first sight. She was maybe a little in love with him already, and she'd only gotten a good look at his backside. Leonard Allred stood directly in front of her in line at the juice bar. The genius had invented the software program that made her job as an insurance underwriter so much easier. Almost so easy, it wasn't fun anymore. Tempest had never seen him in person before, but she recognized his face from previous internet searches. She pulled her phone from her leather tote and Googled him quickly to make sure. Definitely the same guy as the image search, but he was even hotter in person. Leonard Allred had moved his billion-dollar company, Red Roco, from Palo Alto to Dallas 2 years ago. But to see him right here in Highland Park at her juice shop? Swoon. She pretended to look at the menu as she studied him. He was half a head taller than her 5'10", classically handsome, dark wavy hair and hooded eyes, brains and beauty. How annoying, unless he was into her. But what could she say to him? Tell him she was an underwriter, a beneficiary of his creation? Before she could decide, he stepped up to the counter and ordered a protein lover smoothie and a love your grains bowl. Someone was hungry. And why was he here getting his own breakfast? Didn't he have an assistant or 3 to do his errands? He stepped away from the counter, making space for her. Disappointment panged when he didn't look at her. In her fluster, she stammered through her simple order, a green drink for her sick colleague. The juice was already made, so she had no excuse to loiter after her purchase. He stood near the window, his face tilted toward his phone. Her tongue lay heavy in her mouth. No charming ideas on how to talk to him came to her mind. Feeling like a major wuss, she left the store. Blair would have said something to him. Her best friend would have spoken the moment she recognized Leonard Allred. Completely disappointed in herself, Tempest drove out of the parking lot. She squinted at the store windows, but she couldn't see him. She'd lost her chance. "And how are we feeling today?" Tempest asked Fred, the coworker who'd been blowing his nose like a disgusting trumpet every 3 minutes yesterday. She timed them like a labor nurse watching contractions. She'd also showered the second she got home from work and had 3 cups of echinacea tea. She could not live through that again. "Much better," Fred said. "Thanks for the tip about the honey lemon tea and the Epsom salt bath." She set the bottle of green juice on his desk. "Don't think about how it tastes. Just throw it back. The ginger might burn a little going down, but I promise it will help." He scowled at the brightly colored bottle, but he picked it up anyway. "I trust you, and thanks." Gratification lightened her step as she strolled to her corner desk. Today was a good day. She hadn't talked to Leonard Allred, but she'd still seen him. The sun had broken through the clouds, pestering Dallas all week. Her remedies were helping Fred, and in a few hours, she would review her latest fantastic work reports with her boss. Good day. She spent the morning, her best working hours, analyzing the data and risk for new applicants. They'd been using Leonard Allred's software, Red Roco, for 6 months now. The program not only took into consideration the applicant's submitted information, it crawled through the internet for hidden risk. Tempest used to double-check all the quotes manually, but when the software proved as good an analyzer as she cut out that step. Now she rarely had to do the tedious analytical work herself. Every 90 minutes, she obeyed the alert she'd set on her watch. She stood, stretched, and did 1 loop around the office to get the blood moving. Fred gave her a cheerful thumbs up on her way past. He reminded her a little of her father, large-jawed, honest, and lacking humor. Standing at her desk, she pulled her hands behind her back, her arm muscles lengthening. As she twisted her torso, the pink macaroni necklace hidden under her shirt shifted between her breasts. She had to wear it until Sunday, the terms of the bet she'd lost. Turned out coins could be balanced on their sides. She had no idea why she always agreed to these stupid bets with Blair. Actually, she did know. Bear Stickley was fun. Bear Stickley was the best thing that had ever happened to her. At 12:30, she ate her chickpea and kale salad. It was a little wilted. Typical Friday lunch problems. On Sunday, she made 5 salads for her weekday lunches, portioning them out into matching glass containers. The quinoa with black beans and orange zest was her favorite. She'd make that next week. She sat as close to the kitchenette window as she could, letting the sliver of sun caress her face. Her two favorite colleagues ate at the table with her, but she had a hard time listening. She wasn't interested in a nephew's bout of chicken pox. Didn't they have a vaccine for that now? The co-workers didn't need her words anyway. They were both talkers. Tempest thought about her meeting today at 4:30. Was it weird to have it scheduled just before closing time? She usually did her quarterly reviews on Monday mornings. She'd been working with the company for 5 years now, since she was 23. The next step was a big one, actuary. She got a hit of excitement just thinking about it. With this new software, Red Rocco, doing so much of the computing, she was itching for more responsibility, more of a challenge. If she kept on her trajectory, she'd be an actuary by this spring. She grinned at the sunny sky. Damn, she loved her job. Fired. Tempest threw her tote bag on the couch as she stormed into her house. I got fired. Okay, honey, Blair said, coming around the island in the kitchen with her hands up in a calming gesture. The apartment smelled like caramel. Pots and bowls littered the counter. Tempest's chest heaved up and down as she jerked open the buttons on her suit coat. Of course she dressed up for her meeting. Dressed for success. Bah! She tossed the coat on the couch, her pasta necklace coming free and smacking her in the face with the motion. Blair's brows bunched as she watched the blazer crinkle in a heap. Tempest usually hung her clothes neatly as soon as she got home, but today she didn't bother with the coat. What did it matter if it wrinkled now? She didn't take out her lunchbox and put it in the dishwasher. She didn't need it cleaned by Sunday. She wouldn't be packing lunch salads for work next week. I'm unemployed. So, if you want to read more, check out Betting on Love.